Hey guys, it's Leo with Dreaming Tree, and in this video, we're going to put together our hummingbird paper sculpture. And as I mentioned in the last assembly video, it's a very simple piece to put together. It takes a little bit of time. It's a very intricate piece for your machine to cut, but any machine these days should be able to handle it, so it's no problem. And as you can see here, I actually went ahead and added some vinyl for this. This is going to be a gift from my mom for Mother's Day. So of course you can show off your vinyl on these pieces if you want, or without vinyl they definitely can stand on their own. So it's again very simple. I have everything I need here cut out, so I'm going to go ahead and begin walking you through the process. So as you can see here, we have, and let me just get these pieces out of the way. Now for stability, we added a backing layer to this, and the front layer is a little bit different than the backing layer. Okay, so let me just explain that. You'll see that there are some subtle differences between these two layers. This back layer, this little area here, it's completely cut out, where this layer here has these little pieces that are designed to be trained to give the piece some added dimension. There's also a little piece here, it's a little flower that, and you don't want to do this yet because we do need to glue these two pieces together. So actually, here's the thing. If for some reason you don't want to pop dot this against your background, like I'm planning on doing, and if you want, you can actually glue it flat on this design. I don't think it gives the dimension. It gives off as much dimension if you just glue it flat, like you can see here. If you look at that back layer, there's a little bit of a shadow layer that adds dimension to this piece. So I would recommend doing it my way, but you don't have to. And if you don't do it my way, you can just take this individual piece and glue it to your paper and save this. Okay, you don't need to cut this out. But the way that I'm going to do it is I'm going to actually take and glue these two pieces together using a spray adhesive. Okay, so I'm going to do this off camera because I like to do this outside so I don't breathe in the spray adhesive. But I put this on a paper towel and just spray the entire thing. Okay, and then I take this top layer and lay it over exactly as close as you can. Try to make it perfect, obviously, and then we can go ahead and move on to the next step. So you want to go ahead and glue this together, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so as you can see here, I've got both layers glued together, and it worked really well with that spray adhesive. And something that you may want to do, you may want to just like let this dry a little bit before you start working on it. You know, give it a little bit of time to actually get a good hold. I think it's optional, but it may actually stiffen up a little bit more if you let it dry, okay? But anyway, we can go ahead and begin kind of working on it. So on the actual base piece here, there's just these little areas here that you want to go ahead and train to kind of peel them out and give them a little bit of dimension, okay? We also have these little petals here, and you can just pop those out, and then with your dowel, just go ahead and train those out. Okay, so those are kind of part of the hummingbird design, nothing that you need to glue on, okay? And what I did, as I explained in the previous video, is I took these little foam squares, okay? And what I did was I began with the large ones, and I began by obviously placing them in the corners first off. Okay, let me center this more so you can see the whole design. Okay, so we definitely want some in the corners, and then, you know, use your best judgment to determine how many more you want to use on the actual border itself. Okay, now that actually may be a little bit too big. Okay, so that is where, let me put this back. That's where the smaller ones that come in this package are going to be very useful. You can take the smaller ones and just start kind of placing them and staggering them. They don't need to be right on top of each other, but it'd be good to kind of put some, you know, stagger them maybe every couple inches or however many you want to put. I think there's really, you know, the more the better, obviously, but you don't want to spend, you know, forever doing this. So of course you want to put these on the border, and then use the larger ones in areas where you have a lot of surface area, you know, and you can actually fit them there, obviously. Okay, so place these larger ones in as many of the middle areas as you can, because that's really going to help support this middle area. Okay, so even in areas like this, I would probably put a big one there. And let's see here. Here's a good spot for a big one. And let's see where else. There's a good spot for a big one. You know, and so on and so forth. And then once you've exhausted areas where you can put the big one, go ahead and fill in the smaller areas with the smaller ones. And again, just do your best to kind of, you know, disperse these around the design so that, you know, it stays very flat once we get it on our surface. Okay, so you may, you know, might want to test out how well one of these does with X amount of dots, and you don't actually have to glue it down to test it. So for example, let's say that's all I want to do. Now I would probably put more up there, but for example, you can take this and rotate it, and then if you push down in certain areas, like here, I see that as I push down here, that kind of gives. So I'm going to put some here. Okay, this area is good. I'm probably going to put some here. I push down here, it doesn't budge. I push down here, it doesn't budge. And because these two areas are really solid, this area in between is going to be solid too, so I really don't need to put anything there. So you get the idea, okay? And then once you have these on there, what I did was I actually took, I took a blade, just a raw blade from my cutting machine, but I noticed that a razor blade also works to help peel these off, okay? And actually, before we do that, I'm going to show you this little gadget. It's just a piece of paper, but it's really useful, that we included in your download, and your machine is going to cut it, okay? So what this little edge piece is for is you take it and you line it up to the edge of your 12 by 12 paper, okay? And you want to do this with a pencil, and you just kind of draw a little line there like that. And that is going to help you place your piece once you have that base assembled. Now we included 4, so if you want to use 1 for each area, you can do that, but you don't actually glue this piece onto anything. It's just a little tool that you're going to use. Okay, so you just kind of do that in all 4 corners. And then, okay, so you see the little lines there. And then on your piece here, you can go ahead and remove all of the backing for all of these little pads, these little 3D foam squares. I'm just going to do the corners because I don't want to bore you and have you watch me peel off all of these backings on all these little pieces here. Okay, so just peel that off. I'm just going to do these 4. Obviously, you're going to do all of them. Okay. All right. And then you take your piece and you want to align it with those little corners that we created. And that's going to make sure that it's nice and centered. Okay. And then you just push it down all over the design. Okay. And that's going to hold it in place for you. Okay, so all that's left to do is to take our little dimensional pieces that cut out separately and mount those. Okay, so let's start with the actual hummingbird. Now, as you can see here, we have some cutouts that are still attached to this piece, and you want to go ahead and just flare those out, just like that. Okay, and we have some little feathers that you also want to flare out. Okay, so there's feathers there. And then we have these little tail feathers that you want to take out and fold at the score marks and just kind of leave them like that. You don't want them sticking out all the way. You just kind of want to give it a little bit of dimension. Okay, so just peel that out and fold it at the score mark. Okay, so you get the idea. And then what you want to do is just take a look at how this is going to be placed. Okay, so it's going to be going like that. Okay, so as you can see here, we are going to want to try to position our little squares in these areas. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and grab my little squares and put them on my little hummingbird here. Just make sure that you're not covering up any of the tail feathers or any of the feathers for that matter. Okay, I think you could get away with that many. Okay, so then we're going to take our razor blade and peel these off. They come off real nice, just like that. And I'm just going to do this bottom one here, so I don't want to bore you with that. Okay. So we're going to take this and make sure that we have it nice and properly aligned, just like that, and just push it down. Okay. Now with the wing here, you don't need to glue this down at all, but we can go ahead and take the entire wing and train it up, and then you can also train it down to give it that little bit of dimension there. Okay. So you see how that works. Really cool, really simple. And then all that's really left is to take our flowers. There's some floral pieces here that we're going to train. And this process here, as you can see, there's like an inner petal and an outer petal. Okay, the process is the same for all of these. I would start with the inner petal and just take it around your dowel and curl it just to kind of make it pop out like that. Okay. And then do the same thing to that main petal. Okay, so I'm just going to do one so you guys get the idea. Okay, just like that. Perfect. Oh, I forgot one there. Okay, and I'm going to help you figure out the placement on these. Okay, so this guy here is going to go here. And you want to go ahead and put your little squares on there, or if you want, I'm trying to see if I have them, you can grab a pop dot. You can see my little pop dot there, and just tear it apart just to get little pieces, and put maybe 3 in like a tripod formation on this piece. But again, I would prefer to use the foam squares. Okay. I like those a lot better. They're more consistent. They're always going to be the same height, but I'm just showing you that pop dots also work. Okay, so there's that flower. Okay, same process applies to this guy here, and he's going to get glued down there. Same process applies to these 2 flowers. Okay, and this flower is going to go here, and then this flower is going to go here. Okay. And we've got a larger flower that's going to go here, okay? And then we have this piece here, and some of the little holes didn't come out, so let me get rid of those. And there's a little flower that's built into this element, so we want to definitely curl that out so that it sticks out. Okay, you can kind of just bend that with your fingers. I think it's too small to actually train. So just kind of bend it out so it shows up like that. Okay. Like I said, guys, this is like a really easy project. You really can't mess this up. So I really can't wait to see what yours looks like. And then this piece here is going to go like this. Okay. So it just kind of goes right there. And what I did was I took some foam squares and I put one foam square there. And then I had another foam square there, and then probably just one more right here, just like that, and then I attached it like so. Okay, so I mean that's really it. It's very simple, guys. And then I'll show you my final one here. So there's the final design. Okay, let me put that to the side. And as you can see here, here is my original. And after I put all the pieces down, I grabbed all my bling. I got some nice rhinestones that I put on top of the flower, inside the flower, just whatever you want to do, and then dress it up with some vinyl. And you've got a beautiful little gift for mom, for a loved one, a baby. I mean, the possibilities are endless. So I hope to see your version of this on our Facebook wall. So if you do make one, definitely snap a picture and post it, because I'm super excited about our paper sculpture SVG bundle. So hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and I will see you next time. Stay on top of all things Dreaming Tree and engage with us today. Get the latest news and enter in our giveaways on Facebook. Get inspired by following us on Pinterest. Be the first to see our new product launches on Instagram. Do you prefer Twitter? Yep, we're there too. Watch our beautiful product trailers and assembly tutorials on YouTube. For more information, visit www.3dsvg.com. Live, craft, love, and dream.